fiery clash erupted on live television as Carol Malone and Benjamin Butterworth locked horns over Britain's housing crisis and the tidal wave of migrant family reunions. With accusations of lies, hypocrisy, and betrayal of British citizens, the debate spiraled into a blistering confrontation. Malone raged that hard-working locals are being pushed aside, while Butterworth fired back, defending Labour's new stance. As tempers flared, shocking revelations about free housing, healthcare, and education for migrant families set the studio ablaze. By the end, the atmosphere was electric, leaving viewers stunned and desperate to know who was really telling the truth. Watch the clip.
Did you know over 95% of our viewers aren't subscribed? Subscribing is free and helps us create more great content. Hit subscribe now and join our community.
Keir Starmer.
They haven't even said they're going to stop it. They've said they're going to do what other countries do and make them wait for 3 years before they bring their relatives in. That was the deal, if it ever happens. But it's not going to happen now. You know, as long as we don't have a deterrent, as long as we don't have a Rwanda, as long as we don't have a way to send people back, they're going to keep on coming. I would keep on. They're going to keep on coming because it's a big sign up above Britain. Come to Britain, you get everything free forever.
Yeah, Jake.
And then eventually bring all your family in for free as well.
Yeah.
Whether it's now or in 3 years' time. The government has one thing right. They should be prioritising these reunification of families by mass deportation of people who are coming to this country illegally. This guy should have been sent back to live with his family in his country of origin. It's what the British people want. No matter who they voted for at the last general election, the world has changed. The British people have moved on. They want their country back. They want their country, run in a way that prioritises our homeless veterans who fought in the British Army. They want their country to prioritise housing their children. They might have lived in a community for decades and their children can't get on the housing ladder. You were talking about you can't get on the housing ladder. As a highly paid GB News presenter, you can't get on the housing ladder. The British people want real change. That's what we need.
Benjamin, this is the point, isn't it? This is the point, right? For British people, it's got to a point now where it's unfair on them. It's unfair on hard-working people who pay their taxes and for people who want to bring foreign spouses over here. This two-tier system's got to end, and the only way to end it is with mass deportations to free up the housing supply first and give people the homes they need. And what do we do about the homeless people in our streets? Labour don't seem to care about them.
Well, there have been homeless people, numbers of homeless people rocketed under the Conservatives.
That's true.
We'd almost eradicated it by 2000.
Yeah, that's what you measure for. It ended almost in the entirety during COVID.
I'm afraid
so it depends what you measure from.
People who are already here, legally here, on the road to citizenship, the idea of deporting them, I think, is offensive and wrong and unprincipled. No, and I'm afraid there are lots of people for whom I think that is basically an avenue for their racism.
I'm sorry, but not if you got...
They just want to send back people who are Muslims. They don't want to send back people who are Americans or French.
I was on the show a couple of weeks ago with you and you were applauding Yvette Cooper saying, look how many people she's deported from the country.
Yeah, because they're not here legally.
Offensive and wrong? It is not offensive and wrong. Where people have invaded our country, entered illegally, they're playing the system, they're costing the British taxpayers billions of pounds. It is right to send a strong message to the world.
And that's what the government's doing. You've got asylum approvals down, deportations up, visa rules stricter up.
I'm sorry.
Hang on, one second, because, Benjamin, I want to ask you this. Do you think the military camps are a good idea? Are you pro those?
Well, if it's a cheaper...
Maybe take them out of these lovely houses they're getting given by the council, put them into military bases?
If it's a cheaper and reasonable way to deal with them, then I think it's OK. I don't think anybody should be living in squalor and at risk of disease spread.
So let me just come in there, because I listened to a lot of 3 military chiefs this morning on radio and on telly saying quite clearly that all the ones that are empty now, these camps, they're not fit to live in. There's going to be a lot of time and a lot of money spent on them before they're going to be... So this is not going to happen anytime soon. But more importantly, what they're also saying is our armed services are going to be living in camps that are less good than the camps they're making for
homeless British veterans in there, not migrants.
Absolutely right. I have some really interesting stories we're working on this sort of stuff, so stay tuned on that one anyway. A Home Office spokesperson has said this. Over the past year, we have cut nearly $1 billion in hotel spending and doubled asylum decision-making rates from the chaotic system we inherited. We aim to close all asylum hotels by the end of this Parliament, working with local authorities to ensure balanced and sustainable accommodation. For Britain, this is we were talking about free speech last hour, right?
I think for us it should be a moment of national shame. You have an Irish national who tweeted something out 4 months ago, when in the United States, flies into this country and is arrested by armed cops. Whatever the rights or wrongs of that, it just looks awful for Britain, and it's why, as he said, America is listening and they think we've got a real problem.
Benjamin?
The reality is that trans people are a tiny part of this country and they are being abused and vilified.
And they are abusing and vilifying other people.
They are not. They are not.
Yes, they are.
Well, name me the transgender politician, the transgender newspaper columnist, the transgender CEO, the transgender person on this channel.
You're on X all of the time. I say the abuse and I say the insult.
Jamie Wallace,
Can I just say something now? I say the abuse from trans people to women and to other people who've criticised the trans
How many trans billionaires are constantly attacking individuals?
It
is a nasty, vindictive campaign to which this country should be ashamed.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Next UK, your go-to for real stories and sharp analysis.